Arizona had a cancer scare. Maggie and Meredith are trying to keep Richard from falling off of the wagon. April went on an apology tour, and we're going to see who served the cure and who would you diagnose with the disease. It's all coming up right here on the Grey's Anatomy After Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin. Like the top off a bottle and I ain't stopping yet. Baby, it's a brand new
I love when you put the lights on, you guys.
And they right on cue.
Oh my gosh. Well, I really like this song. Yes. I added it to my playlist right before we went on live.
Workout
On the
song. You know
air.
everybody knows I works out.
Yes.
So obviously.
It was a good upbeat song for a lot going on in this episode.
It was.
Yes.
It was.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Elle Marie, and we also have next to me,
I'm Tori.
Hey guys, it's Krista.
What's up, everybody? I'm Timothy.
and so yes, we're gonna go over everything about this episode. So just in general, how did you guys feel about this episode this week?
I really enjoyed this episode. I think that Grey's Anatomy is like back for the win because every episode I feel like has just been so good that I'm like, I there's nothing that I could say that I didn't like because you know we have that segment at the end like who just have the worst line, and I'm like, I can't really pick a worst line because these episodes have been so good, and I really enjoyed this episode. There's a lot going on, and I'm excited to dive into it, but I like this episode.
No, I completely agree. These last two episodes felt kind of old Greys almost, and I was like, oh, I'm really into it. And this episode especially had me like a couple times, like, you know,
Absolutely.
like old Greys. I loved it.
Yeah.
I liked this episode a lot. I was able to pick a worst line, even though I don't feel like it was like the worst line. I still
There's
picked
like
one.
funny
We might
bad
have the same one.
lines.
We might
Yeah.
have
Okay, but I will say I did not like last week's episode.
What?
You didn't? Oh my god,
Yeah.
Which
we
is so
loved
funny
it.
because I gave you a shout out because I was like, I wish Tori was here because I think she would really like this episode, and I'm surprised you didn't.
Okay, so, well, after I watched it, I did say I was going to go back and watch it because I was in Louisiana when it was on TV, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was just sitting there and I was just like, no. I don't
Really?
know,
Really?
I could have been distracted.
Maybe.
I had a bad Thursday.
Okay,
okay,
I mean,
that could be
we
it.
all have one of those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to rewatch it. I'll let you know, Timothy.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
please
I'm
do.
sad you weren't here because we could have debated
We
on
were
it. You know how we
hyped on
love
it.
to do that.
Yes, we did. Well, we might be able to debate tonight.
Okay, we'll
Ooh,
see.
Well, let's see. Let's go ahead. So we're gonna get into it, but like I said, towards the end of the show tonight, we'll go over our special segment that we came up with, all the best lines and worst lines. But right now, let's get into it. So for me, I kind of want to start with Richard.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
because especially when they opened the show and it's like, oh, last week on Grey's, we were all like, what?
Well, it
Who's
didn't
this
say last week.
lady?
It just said previously, and they've
Oh,
never
okay.
done that before.
Yeah.
So it automatically caught our attention. We were like, wait,
Right.
why are you? Okay. I
Yeah,
get it.
see, and I thought
Yes.
it said last week. So, it was, but I knew it was like from an old, like an episode from years ago.
Yeah, because he
So I
looked
was like,
really
what's-
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? But I liked how everyone kind of came together, meaning Meredith and Maggie, to kind of help him to know, like, so his sponsor is in the hospital, and come to find out she had a DNR. So Warren brought her in and was like, well, oops, we didn't know until later. Like, after the fact, we saw her bracelet. After we brought it back, she was upset about that. And she kind of wanted it to be over with because her liver was failing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was concerned about Richard because, like, she's been helping him all these years kind
Yeah.
of get through his addiction and not go backwards. And she's kind of felt like her loss would kind of create that and
Yeah.
make him go backwards.
Yeah. Having dealt with alcoholism in my personal life, not me personally, but others around me, I know how important a sponsor is. And I love this episode touched on that. Like, I feel like you don't really understand what alcoholics and people who are addicted to certain things, what they go through on a daily basis. Like, you could be sober for 20 years, but you still need somebody as your backbone. And it's never really your family. It has to be somebody that's disassociated or like not very attached to you because they tell you the real deal, whether you like it or not. And I liked that they shined such a light on sponsorship in AA and just in that environment. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that up because being somebody who has not dealt with that, and I guess at this point speaking for maybe a few other people who haven't dealt with that as well, when all of their scenes regarding Ollie and Weber, I was like, I don't understand why Weber just won't let her have what she wants.
Yeah.
But then, just thinking about what you just said and then running back the scenes through my head, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And how much, you know, like you said, they need their sponsor or they need somebody to be there for them.
Well, and he makes that comment where he's like, I've talked to her every day for the past 20 years, and that's more than I've talked to, like, his wife, his kids, so... I couldn't imagine.
I loved her comment as well, though, when she said, you know, it takes us, like, if you lose your sponsor, that's the person that's been with you from the beginning.
Right.
And it takes a bruise on your ego if you have to ask somebody else to be your sponsor. That's literally you admitting that you have a problem all over again. It's rehashing the same things. You have to tell them all this backstory. Like, a sponsor is like your therapist, you guys. Like, it's more important than a therapist because this is literally your life we're talking about. So I love their scenes. I loved Ollie, the actress that plays Ollie. I loved her. I thought every scene that they were in together didn't feel forced. It felt
absolutely not.
like natural. I really enjoyed them together.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm might be jumping the gun, but I do like how how Weber brought in Amelia. I like how they ended that whole scenario, like bringing her in to kind of not just help Amelia herself, but help Weber and also help Ollie.
Yeah.
That was beautiful to me.
Yes.
I did.
love that moment.
Yeah. That was great.
I kind of got choked up when he was like, "No, we're having a meeting. I brought you a meeting."
Yeah.
And then with the Serenity Prayer, I was like,
Yes.
That
So
Serenity
beautiful.
Prayer literally was perfect because the entire
Him accepting
episode
it,
they were
yeah.
debating, like, and I love the tie-in, and we'll talk about it with Maggie and him because Maggie did the same thing with her mom. Like, you fight for this person because you love them so much, but it's like, at what point do you just accept the things you can't change? And that's why I love the Serenity Prayer closing, because I thought it was literally, this is why I think Grace is back, because I'm like, you guys,
so
this is
good.
insane.
Yeah, but I mean, we can, since we're talking about Weber, we can just kind of sum up like his whole everything that happened with that, because like I think you said it, Tori, just now, saying that I just lost it.
What I said?
I believe so. Oh, you know, like not giving her what she wanted.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Was that you, Krista?
That was you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So Maggie tied that in with her experience,
Yes.
you know, because she knew how it felt, because like she was saying, all these things that she put her mom through to kind of help, hopefully she would last and live a little bit longer, realizing that it didn't work, and she kind of put her through more things that she didn't need to go through.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of helped Weber, you know, so sometimes it does help when you use your own experience instead of just trying to tell someone what they should do and how they should feel and react and handle the situation. So when you show compassion and empathy towards that, it's like, I've been through it. This is what I did, and I hated it. I felt so bad with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it helped him to react to it better.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah, I also think it was really important how he brought Maggie and Meredith in to like be the two patients that talked to her, and he was like, I trust these two with like my life, so anything you want to like tell them, go for it.
Right.
It's
Especially
like
after,
out of everyone, that's so cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Maggie was like, I'm gonna have to be the one to tell him, I was a little upset by it because I was like, why are you the one to tell him, not Meredith?
I thought the same thing.
Good. Okay, I'm glad you guys are on the same
I was there
page.
too.
I did.
I was there too, because
I
I
did.
know like that's your blood daughter, but Meredith, you know, you have more
history.
Yes.
with Meredith.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And she was frustrated and trying so hard to protect him and make sure he didn't. She was like, "Where's Catherine? We need to get
Well, she's
her
also
here."
seen
Like,
him in
Yes.
that
Right.
state
Yes.
before, where Maggie hasn't, thankfully.
Yeah.
So she knows where it could go.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that just deepens their relationship as
It
well,
does.
because when you've seen somebody at their worst, like you and you're still there for that person, like you, like it's like you just have a history,
Where
like you
he's
built
seen
this
her in
rapport
the worst
with this
too.
person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
technically, Weber's all she has left, so that bond's really.
But I
strong
think
too.
I also think her, you know, seeking Catherine also, she was trying to protect that bond that she does have with him, because we've seen Meredith go through, I don't know, several circumstances and situations where, you know, you're almost like, oh, well, there goes that bridge and there goes the next one. And so I think not for the
having a
first
buffer.
time, but for the first time in a while, she's like, you know what, let me just do my
Yeah.
part to an extent, and then, you know, we
Get
see
someone
Meredith
else.
not being afraid to ask for help, I feel like, at this point
Which
in her
is
life.
good,
I,
you're right,
Exactly.
yeah.
I really,
Yeah.
really like this side of her.
Yeah. She's
Yeah, I
learned a
love
lot.
grown Meredith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Instead of
Grown
taking it
Meredith.
on herself,
Yeah.
which
Right.
sometimes ends badly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Burning those bridges
Yeah.
and ending those relationships that maybe necessarily did not need to be ended.
Yeah. I want to touch on April's apology tour.
Yeah. Me too.
That was something.
Really funny.
It was hilarious.
I loved that.
Me
I
too.
loved that it was happening, but the way she went about it, I was like,
Okay.
I think what I loved about it was that I don't know if the writers meant to do this or not, but
AA stuff.
yes, thank
Yes,
you.
I was
In
thinking
AA,
that.
one of your steps, one of the 12 steps is making amends to people that you've hurt. I think it's like step 10 or trust me, like I said, I've had a lot of experience.
did
I
not
knew
catch
that
that
much.
on
I was like,
that.
is she on like an apology tour for alcoholism she doesn't have?
But I mean, I kind of loved that she was kind of treating like her loss in God
Yeah.
as in like falling off of the wagon. I don't know if the writers
I
intentionally did
think
that, but
they
I got
had
that.
to have
Of
because
course.
it tied in so like perfectly with what Weber and Ollie were
Yeah.
going through.
Yeah.
I was like, this is brilliant.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
Wow. And I loved how her expressing how she felt and what she was dealing with, she was able to do that with Jackson. You know, and not if she did it with anybody else, I feel like it would have just been like, well, you could have just come out and said it. But for her to express her feelings to Jackson and then explain to him how he really did play a part in her life was
Beautiful.
it left me with chills.
Oh, yeah.
It left me with chills, but then at the same time, it leaves me with anger because I just want them together
Yes.
so bad.
Same.
Right?
Okay,
Good.
did
I'm glad we're all on the
did
same
any
page.
ounce of you think? Did any ounce of you kind
Thought
of
they'd
be like,
start making out at the end, maybe?
Jackson might be like,
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is the April that we like. This is the April that we fell in
Right,
love with. So it's the
right.
April that Jackson
Yeah.
fell in love with. Like
Right.
she's just a very soft, like
She
just
is, yeah.
kind-hearted
Yes.
person.
Despite her,
And
like,
I was
yeah.
excited until they hugged because it was the side hug.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It was such a disappointing hug. I was like, no.
But I feel like again we see somebody else trying to like protect themselves, and that was how
Yeah.
Jackson was doing that.
Yes,
Yeah,
agreed.
maybe.
And I
Yeah.
love
I
how-
agree that it's still open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how she was avoiding Jackson the entire episode, and I was like, well, shouldn't he be the first one? But then at the same time, he's the
Thank you.
hardest one.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
that first
Understand.
acknowledgement
Exactly.
where she was like, no, not right now. I was like,
Yeah.
are you not going to talk to him?
I was like, girl, let's not fall back in our ways.
right,
Like,
right,
take a
right.
step
I
back.
was like, I thought we were
Right.
doing better. But she apologized to everyone but Jackson.
Yeah.
I wrote that down too.
That's what I said. And then later I'm like, saving him for last.
Yeah,
Best
but
for
that's why I
last.
love when Tori brought up the last moment that they had together because I thought she summed it up perfectly. She
did.
it was a nice conclusion and a nice like bow to wrap up that storyline for her.
It was.
Yeah, didn't last week we weren't sure if it was going to end that quickly, if this was going to be it,
Yeah.
and I was pleasantly surprised that
Same.
I think
Yeah.
with Grey's, and I've talked to a lot of my friends about it, they were like, we're so glad that the April stuff is going to be over with because it's like Grey's knows their viewers and they know
They don't
they
wanna
can
see
read
it.
them
Yeah,
very
right.
well. Like they know
Right.
when things are going on too long and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, we need to stop this now because
Which,
they'll
yeah,
get
but
bored.
now it's like we were all, okay, so is this going to be the train that leads to her exit?
I think
but
that's
now
the
that she's
thing.
jumped off of it, we
Yeah.
think for now, how's she leaving?
It's like between Arizona and April, anything that happens to them is the anticipation of
think-
like,
yeah.
is this it? Like,
Especially with
you're like, okay,
Arizona,
so
every
what's
time
gonna
something
happen?
happens, I'm
gosh.
automatically like, oh, so that's how they're going to go. And then
Yeah.
you're like, never mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My heart literally skips a beat for that woman. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I can't.
Yeah, we're gonna get into
would
her a
not
little
want
bit
to hear
later.
Yeah, later. Yeah, we're not ready for it. We're
Not
not ready for it.
Not ready just yet. But so I wanted, you know what? Let's talk about Owen. I was gonna go into Amelia, but then that made me think about Owen.
Yeah. Owen's going through it once again. You guys,
Exactly. Per
Owen just
usual.
annoys me. I felt like maybe if I'm nitpicking this episode, he was probably my least favorite out of this
Yeah.
episode. I think he was overdramatic. I think he is not giving the women in his life the time to do what they need to do in order to move on.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you're just it's all about you,
And
Owen.
what are
You're
you
so
mad at?
selfish.
It
You're mad
has
at
been.
yourself.
Also,
From day one, though.
Like, yeah, that too.
From
and-
day one.
Exactly. But having Amelia call Teddy at that, I know he didn't want her to,
Right.
but like, that's the worst possible situation that could have just happened.
Exactly.
Amelia too, though. Why would you
Like, get
think
out
you
of
could
it.
do that?
Thank you. Because
Amelia's a little cocky
she's,
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah,
And she also
but-
doesn't like realize that sometimes she's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you
Yes,
go. Nor
yes.
does she ever think before she speaks or acts. So,
No,
I mean,
never.
this is typical Amelia.
Yes.
Tumor or no tumor.
Yeah. Oh my God. Arizona's line, where I think of it, would she say you double dipped within 24 hours?
Right? Yes.
That literally made me
I was like-
cringe because I was like, that's gross.
That's what I was saying last week. I was like, he literally is nasty right now.
Yeah, I hope he
Yes.
took a shower.
Not that he's the
beforehand.
first, I'm sure. But
I mean, no, of course not. But
it happens all the time.
I'm
But I was
sure.
like, Owen, how dare you?
yeah.
You don't do it before confessing your love.
I want to know what our viewers in the chat think. If Anthony, our
Yeah.
wonderful engineer, can get our chat up, because I really want to see what you guys have to say about this episode and to
Yeah.
say about double dipping, because that
Yeah.
I'm grossed out.
When she said that, I was like, burn. It was good.
Yeah. Because even like going back to last week, I just wish he had handled that whole situation a little bit differently. Like, take your time. And I understand, like, yes, you guys have had this, you know, this tension, this connection this whole time, but still, you just got out of a marriage and everything.
Right.
Take your time, profess your love. That's fine. But do we have to jump in the bed right away? You know?
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe that's just the old lady in me.
Agreed.
Like,
And
take
it's
your
funny
time,
because
child.
it's funny because Tori said that you didn't really like the episode last week, and I actually liked Owen and Teddy together because I feel like that's the only person he should be with. I know this is why I wish you were here to debate me, but I just feel like Owen needs to be, like we said last episode, by himself for a while, and he needs to stop being so angry. Like, get over it, man.
Yeah.
You made a mistake. You did it wrong. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to discuss that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll revisit it at some point.
We
we
will.
We
Just
will.
not tonight.
Not tonight. Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna leave Amelia as a separate thing, but I think it has to do with Owen. Was she thrown up because she pregnant or nervous?
Right when she threw up.
I don't
I
think.
thought about
I'm
that.
sorry. It's been
Literally,
eating
it's
at
the
me. I
first
don't
thing
know.
that came to mind. We talked about this.
Yeah,
I
I looked at her and I was like, "Girl, pregnant," and she was like, "Maybe." I was like,
That's literally what I thought.
I thought
Did
that
you not
too.
think
No,
that?
not at all. I thought she was really, really nervous.
I think maybe as women,
Yeah.
that was our initial reaction. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Possibly.
she just threw up midday in a trash
I
can.
mean,
She a pregnant.
They were having a lot of sex.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
were.
That would really.
Just
oh,
20,
that would-
48 hours
They
ago or whatever.
were. I mean,
'Cause it's like-
at the very beginning, I thought she was nervous, but
That's
when
what
she
I
threw
did,
up,
but
I was like,
maybe.
no.
I mean, it could be either. Maybe that's what they're
Because
trying to
she's
make
had
us
tough
think.
cases before. Even though this
Yes.
one's with a child, like, she's had tough cases before.
But this is a
And
different
they-
level, though, you guys.
But they like threw it in so subtly too, where it's like either they want you to think she's pregnant or they don't even want you to realize that is like later going to be like, oh yeah, she threw up that time. She's totally pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, Shonda, what is it?
I mean, I guess we'll find out. I don't think she's pregnant. I think they're not. No.
I
You're
think
like,
she
I-
might
I don't
be.
think so.
Do we have anything good in the chat?
See, now I'm trying to.
I can't
now I'm
really
trying to
see.
think. Everybody's going off on J-Pro, though.
I know, that's what I'm reading too.
Every-
Like,
a
they
lot
like
of-
it. They don't have my
They don't want her
contact
to
info.
come back.
it. Yeah, they don't want. And I'm
No.
really surprised, you guys. We were all on
I think
this
everyone's
train.
starting to get used to the Maggie train now.
Oh, please
yeah.
don't.
Wow.
And don't say Maggie
Okay,
train.
I'm
it
gonna
sounds bad.
make a
Sorry.
surprising comment on that later.
What?
Just so you know, I'm gonna make a surprising comment on that later.
Oh, okay.
But
There's Sydney saying J.
Yeah,
Pearl
that's
is
what I was
literally
just-
like so toxic.
yeah, but I
I
don't
get
know
what
if
I
think
get what
they're
you're saying,
toxic,
but I just
though.
love
Yeah, I don't
that.
think they're
Yeah.
toxic.
Just
Toxic.
really quick, Lauren G in the chat. Lauren G's got some kind of mind. She said both Amelia and Teddy are going to be pregnant. Could y'all imagine? Out.
Bomb dropped. He'd finally get his children.
My children finally get
Children. He wants them so bad. Now he
so
got two.
true. Baby mamas.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
that, is,
Yikes.
that will be baby mama.
That is
Amelia
awesome.
Sister
and
wives.
Teddy.
Sister wives.
Oh, see, Olivia's
wow.
still on
Oh
the
my
J-Pro ship. Thank you, Olivia.
gosh.
Me too.
Bless you,
Yes,
April.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
down with you too.
We love
you,
you. We
Olivia.
love interacting with you guys in the chat. Thanks for
Yes.
being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
All the
Okay.
great Olivia said all the great ships are toxic. Low key, that's kind of
That-
true.
You know what?
True.
True.
Romeo and Juliet. Look how that
Romeo and
ended.
Juliet, Meredith and Derek. Like, let's really break it down.
I mean, yeah. Even Christina and Owen.
That was a.
Denny and
I'm-
Izzy. I mean, you
Christina
guys.
and Burke.
We could just keep going, you guys.
Right.
Clearly.
Christina and everyone.
That's true. Oh my
Don't you
god.
do Christina like that.
And everyone.
I mean, they never ended well.
Oh wow.
Oh
But
my goodness.
let's see, what do we have?
Wow.
Just so we have a quick break, you guys. I just want to take
Oh,
a second.
yes.
If you guys want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life, for those who do, we've got a podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, the podcast edition, is hosted by our very own AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let our Maria be the big sister that you guys never had. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. We all love free. It's hard times, you guys, for free. And be sure to rate and comment. And when you do, let Maria know it was her Grey's Anatomy panel that
Yes.
sent you to her. Because we get credit, you guys. We get credit.
Tell her.
Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. Every Friday it drops on iTunes, guys. Check it out.
It's
Yes.
really
Yes,
good. Do
It
it.
is very good. It is. If you guys want some inspiration, if you are driving to work and you need something to listen to instead of the boring radio, which I never listen to,
Yep. You on the treadmill?
that's yeah. If you need that last 5 minutes on that mile, go to that, you guys. Maria Menounos podcast edition. Check it
Yeah,
out.
that 405.
Oh, that 405 traffic, girl.
Amen.
Ooh.
Speaking of traffic,
Yes.
let's go ahead and get into that accident where
yes.
Arizona and Owen discovered
Oh
the
my
lady
goodness.
Dana,
Yes.
This
who thought
doctor.
she had cancer.
Y'all, my heart's already beating.
Yeah, just I've got like goosebumps talking about this. Yes. Like for multiple reasons, because I hate this doctor and because of Arizona and just everything about this case.
Because they were introducing a lot of cases in this episode. It was like case after case after case. So then they introduced Dana and Peggy, and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't have time for another one.
I'm like, this is a lot. And then it was Arizona and Owen, and they never work together. Because I'm like, if it's a Pete case, Owen is never on it.
Right.
So I was like, something is weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to go that deep, though. I thought they were going to, like, find out that he was, like, I don't know, doing some medical practice stuff, like treating people that didn't have, like, you know, stuff like that. I didn't know it was going to take a turn for where it did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel kind of dumb because I feel like
Thank
I should have.
That's
I should have figured
feel.
it out. I mean, obviously we knew why they were going. They were trying to see like how he plays his games. But like even Arizona herself was a little fooled. Like
I think it's because, but then after it all happened, I was like, obviously he fakes the ultrasounds because how would he have kept all these? You can't risk
That's
like
true.
a doctor.
Right. True.
I just, you know, if you're doing something that shitty, you're like covering all your bases.
Right.
Yeah.
But so after it all happened, I was like, how did I not realize it? But they were shook too, because when you're sitting on that chair and someone's like, hey, you got breast cancer, you're immediately going to be like, oh my God, I do. Like, you don't
And I
think of.
We were all thinking because, like, for the most part, the common person doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't have to show them. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Like, he just told them what was going on, and that's a scary thing.
And he
and
said
as a
it
doctor,
so the way he said it too.
so you believe him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for them, and Owen comes over like, yes, turn that around. Let's see. And then it's like,
And he did
I know, I was like,
confidently.
you're caught now.
Yeah.
man.
Right.
But he was like,
Right.
no
And I was like,
problem. I was like,
right?
I know, we were all
like,
shook, you guys. If there is any definition for shook, you should have seen our
we all
faces.
stopped and we were like,
We all touched each other. We were grabbing. We were like, we don't know what's going on. Because like Tori said earlier, we're so paranoid because we know the news that, you know, Sarah and April are not going to be on the show for the next season.
Right.
So anything that happens to them, we're like on
I have
high
news
alert.
again. I was literally like, they do not, I mean, it hasn't happened.
Right.
Well, we've had cancer patients, but have one of the doctors really, besides Amelia, like died? No one's died from it when it's
died.
yeah.
No one's died from
I was
it.
like, is this going to be the
Technically,
first
if he
time?
did die, she just came back to life.
That's true.
Just
But I'm
saying.
saying, is this the first time they're actually going to kill someone over again?
Oh, I literally, that's what I was like, this is how they're going to let her go? Like,
I would have been devastated. You guys would
my
not have been
gosh.
good.
Yeah.
They would not have
Oh
been
my
good.
gosh, they got me so good.
Yeah, that was
It
Shonda. That's what I'm saying. Grey's Anatomy is on point, you guys, because they're
Yes.
psyching us out.
But just to do that to you and pull it away, and you're like, oh,
Right.
never mind, she's fine.
I'm glad they pulled it away.
I did
couldn't
too,
do
but
that.
I was
couldn't
like,
deal.
my
I
emotions
am
were all
so
over the
glad.
board.
But then at the same time, and don't hate me, guys in the chat, don't hate me. I would love to have seen what Arizona does with that.
Yeah, it
Could
would
you
have been a great
imagine?
storyline. It's
Right?
just she doesn't have like how much time could they have put into that? Because
I mean, Izzy's was very quick. Don't
That's
forget.
true,
Like,
you're
Izzy's
right,
was
you're
very
right.
fast.
I don't know. I
So-
feel like that.
They could
I
have.
don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I wish breast
No,
cancer
but
on
it could have
anybody,
been a
but
good
I'm saying I want
storyline.
to see, like Arizona. I want to see Jessica Capshaw's like acting chops with that.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know what I
she'd be
mean?
great.
I know.
See, we have Abby. She was saying, the whole AZ scan scene was really scary, like so scary.
Yeah.
And it definitely really was.
It was.
It just brings me back to like this guy, Dr. Scott Hansen, and how do you have the nerve to do this? To
what a
these
terrible
people?
human, disgusting scum on the bottom of my shoe.
Yeah.
Insane.
Like, and then so going into when they figure it out, and then, you know, they go back to the hospital, and Arizona gets tested. She goes to April, like, come now.
I love that April's her person.
Yeah.
I do too.
Right.
I do too.
Yes.
And then so they realize, okay, she doesn't have cancer, and then so they're gonna go after the doctor and Owen. Because what does he say? Yeah, so Arizona told him not to take his anger out on the patients, and so he's like, okay, I'm not gonna take it out on the patients.
Or the interns.
And goes, and the interns.
Yeah.
Which also, like, when he goes into Arizona goes to talk to Dana and Peggy, like, why not just tell her right there? Are they waiting for the cops to do it? I'd be like, that guy was on it. He was scamming you.
Yeah.
She was just like, you're
I feel
clear.
like that would have. I feel like that almost
stirred.
would have put a damper on the fact that she doesn't have cancer.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
doesn't she
Yeah.
have to know at one point? Like, sue him?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I try
yeah.
to think. Yeah, I feel
Like,
like
after the, way
right.
after the
They would have
fact,
totally
yeah.
told him. I just know that if somebody told, I don't know. I've never
In the moment, you're right.
and
It's
like,
a lot.
That's a lot to
Yeah.
go from like you have cancer to you know you don't have cancer.
Yeah.
You're like,
To
you never had cancer.
Right,
Yeah,
you
that's so
never.
true.
It's like,
Can you imagine?
I didn't think of it that
Right.
way. The whole time I'm just like, sue him.
Because like we said, like, so what I
course.
was gonna say is like Owen going there and like trying to like pretend like he's gonna inject the doctor with the chemo.
I thought
and
he was gonna
everything.
kill him.
I kind of thought so,
So
too.
did I too. I was waiting for him to put the needle
I
in.
thought
Like,
He's gonna slap him
You guys,
around a
that
bit.
scene was so dramatic. It was
It was.
over dramatic.
It was
I was like,
overdramatic.
Owen, sit your butt
But
down. Like,
they
come
had to
on.
give him
The
something
cops
to
are
do.
coming.
I just thought
Why
it was
was
a
that?
little.
I'm sorry, that was not over dramatic.
I thought it was because also like the doctor, like you've seen this man. He's like just a regular. He's a the husband of the patient you just had, like, why are you really sitting and talking to? Because Owen didn't reveal himself as a doctor. Oh, I know what you're doing. He still came as the same character, kind of.
It was the setup of it,
So
yeah.
It was, yeah.
Why
And
are
this,
you
if
so-
this,
I wouldn't be
like, I
sitting
just
down
felt like
letting this
Dr.
happen.
Hansen's like reaction was weird. Like he was
Yeah,
just
his
like, I don't feel
reaction was
comfortable.
weird. Okay.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, the lights are off. There's this guy coming in. Like,
Right.
Who would sit through
Maybe
that?
that was
Right.
just poor acting.
Yeah, I thought what was
Maybe.
gonna happen was the guy was gonna be like, "Oh, that's just like orange juice or water with food coloring."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but he was genuinely afraid of this chemo. Like, is obviously chemo. It was obviously
Yeah.
a drug.
Right.
So I didn't like
to
the whole. I
inject,
mean,
yeah.
I just didn't, I like how the police
Like all
showed up
these
in the
people
end.
lost their hair.
Right.
They went through
Yeah,
the
but
how did the police
sickness.
show up?
Yeah.
That
He
was
must
what
have
I
called
thought.
them while he was in the
Yeah.
car, and he was like, heading
Yeah.
up real quick, give me 5.
Give me 5 minutes.
I want 5 minutes alone.
Yeah, like he said, don't worry, they're with me. Like,
Yeah.
It was.
I know that part. I
you
was
know
like,
what? That
on,
might
you
be
guys.
added.
that
Come
should have been
on.
my
Let's make
worst
it
lines.
fun.
Thank you.
That's gonna be added to that. But oh my gosh, we enjoy the people in the chat. You guys are talking to us a lot, so we love that. And if you guys watch us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
If you are iTunes, subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you guys give us 5 stars. Because we love that. 5 stars, leave reviews. And also, as you see in the comments, we love to interact with you. Even after the show is over, sometimes we go back and read the comments later and interact
Yes,
there.
we
So
do.
just make sure you guys subscribe.
You guys rock.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. 5 stars, 5 stars.
All the stars.
All the stars. Give us 5 stars.
We're
The
very
Kira
greedy for
driver,
stars.
Who gives you
Let's
lots
see.
of snacks and water.
Yeah. So where are we? Do we have time for one more before we get into our special segment?
Yes,
with
I think we need to talk about Amelia and Noah because
Yes.
this kind
Yes.
of bleeds into
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
this entire case I thought was really interesting because I didn't think that it was going to be successful. I thought Noah was the goner.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
Same.
they hardly bring back kids except for Kimmy, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to work, and it did, and I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank God it did, because if you're telling me about Kimmy and then we lost Noah in the same, I would have been like, oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That, I don't know. I feel like I have mixed emotions
Yeah.
with that. I'm so happy for Noah, and it was joy to my heart to hear him laugh normally when
Yeah.
he finally woke up. But I don't know how I feel about Karasik, is that his name?
Yes.
Basically saying no to Kimmy
Even
regarding
though it was
just,
a miracle with Noah.
right,
Yeah.
just because they didn't even have it sorted out when they went in to do that for Noah. You know
Right.
what I
I
mean?
kind of feel like they're
So it's
giving
like-
up on her, but she
Yeah.
also is like expressing that she just wants to live, so it's like this.
Right, but I
This
feel like
tough
when you've
spot.
been in the
Yeah.
hospital for so long, you're gonna have those
You're gonna
up
say
and
that.
down moments.
Yes.
Like you're not gonna be
Plus, she's
I'm
a
fired.
kid. Yeah.
Right, you
People going to
know?
see Dear Evan Hansen, I'd be like, get me out of here.
exactly. So I feel like obviously Alex crossed the line by
Mhm.
putting his hands on
Yeah.
Karasik, but at the same time, like, come on, you
He's
know how
fighting
passionate
for
it is.
her,
He was fighting for both of them.
Yes.
You're right.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agreed. But I also understand where Amelia and Karasik are coming from. I mean, this is a new procedure. This is a miracle that it worked on the first kid.
Yeah.
And they don't want to kill this girl. I think they have also an emotional attachment to Kimmy as well because they've grown to
Yeah.
like her. And
Yeah.
they know that her case is a lot more extreme than Noah's is.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different situation. I'm excited to see where they go with that. I'm excited to see if they actually use it on her.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
think it's one of those things like, okay, yes, luckily it worked. Like, thank God it worked, but it was this close to not working. So do we risk it again and it doesn't go the way that we want it to
Yeah.
this time? Like, this time it really doesn't work, you
Yeah.
know? So, and you want to take that chance, like you said, with a patient that's been there, you've gotten attached to that patient. So it's not just going to be like, oh, it didn't work. There may be guilt behind that. Like, I
Yeah.
knew we shouldn't have
Yeah.
done it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they were starting to feel that way with Noah. You
Right.
know, Amelia was like, well, what did we do? Thinking he wasn't going to wake up. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I'm okay with them feeling like it may not work for Kimmy.
I don't know. I feel I agree a little bit with what you said about getting attached, because just as those doctors get attached, we as viewers get attached as well.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And I'm fighting for Kimmy. I want her to
know.
win. And
Yes.
it's like, how much longer are you going to just keep
We've
dragging?
invested
Yeah.
time in her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to
Well,
save her.
Would you guys want her to just well, because obviously they don't want to do it because they think it's dangerous for her and they think it'd kill her. But do you rather her that way, or would you want her to fight to have this procedure done, and at least if she dies, she went out fighting?
I want to see her going out
Fighting,
fighting.
yeah.
Because I feel like, let's say they release her, let's say she gets to go to New York for that weekend, and then, she sees kids her age doing what she's
It's going to be more upsetting.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's like, well, now I want to go back and at least try and see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's going to have like that,
Mixed. regret mixed.
Right. I
Yeah,
can't think of
anything.
it.
Yeah.
Something,
Yeah, and I wouldn't want that for her.
Okay.
I'm hoping that they find another route, just some other type of cure. Like maybe that didn't work. Maybe
I don't think they're
there's
gonna find another
something
cure.
else.
They put too much stuff into this procedure
Right.
that they're just gonna have to tweak
Perfect
it.
that
They're gonna have
one.
to perfect exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but it's hard.
Speaking of procedures, really quick, just to touch on it. I know we only have like 5 minutes, but Meredith doesn't even need the polymers. Hello. I was
Can
so
we have some
happy
lights
about
on
that.
that?
Yes, because that's a really big. That's a really big breakthrough.
Yes.
Yes.
So
They're gonna
She doesn't need
beat
the
Maria.
polymer. The polymer.
polymers, yeah.
Yeah.
Polymers.
So
They just
screw
directly
Dr. Marie
injected.
Cerrone.
Yes. I love
We
how
don't
she
need
was
her.
finally like, this isn't about her. And then
Right.
she's like, we kicked her butt. And I was like, yes.
Yes. So that's nice. That Joe and what's the other intern's name?
I don't know. What do they call her?
Hellmouth.
Yeah,
Hellmouth.
Hellmouth.
I'm sorry. These interns. I can't even
They
keep track of them.
pop up once in a while.
They do,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
I like
whatever.
it that way though.
Oh
Yeah,
my
same.
goodness.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get into our fun little segment.
Yay.
We're going to see who served the cure.
There's your lights, man. There's your
There we
lights.
go.
I really love that song too.
All right. I think I got one.
Okay, you
guys
go.
want me to
Go
start?
ahead, Krista.
Okay. Wait, where to go? Okay, here it is. So it was when Kepner was talking to Jackson and basically ending her apology tour, and she just said, even when it felt like he wasn't there, you were, so thank you. And I was like, oh. I mean, even if we never get to see J-Pro back in action again, that was a super sweet
was
moment
very
to like
nice.
kind of wrap everything up with.
I like that too.
I liked it.
That's so sweet.
I think my favorite line was from Ollie actually, and she says when she says to Richard, she says to Meredith, I didn't know how to sponsor. Oh, she says to Richard, I didn't know how to sponsor you through my death.
That was a good one. I wrote that one down.
That
too.
was a good one.
Just because I felt like the whole sponsor line in
It
this
was.
episode was really touching for me personally.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it.
Mine was also from Ollie. Well, it's like Richard said, I thought we were friends. And then Ollie said, give me a break. You're acting like a pouty teenager. We're more than friends. And I think my mind went back to that after, Richard brought in Amelia. Just because it's like when you're friends with somebody and you've been friends with them for a long time and they're going through a hard time, you want, essentially, regardless of what you want them to do or how you want them to feel, ultimately you want what's best for them and whatever it is that they want. And I feel like when he brought in Amelia, it
That
kind
was
of
his
clicked in a
acceptance.
good way.
Yeah,
Agreed.
same.
Yeah.
Mine is actually the Serenity Prayer.
It was beautiful.
Because that's so,
It's
God grant me the
beautiful.
serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. I've always,
It's a
Beautiful.
great
I used to
one,
think
yes.
that was in the Bible.
I feel like that's something like you don't even have to put a religious undertone to
You
it.
don't.
No.
but
Because
just
it's
growing up, I
something
thought
that
it was a scripture.
everybody
Yeah.
can abide. Like somebody can learn
Yeah.
something from that.
Yeah, I
Even
agree.
even me
I
personally,
love it.
I wouldn't take the God out, but I know there are some people who have different
Yeah,
views.
you
and
could just
can
take it
that
out and be like,
part
grant me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest is still
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is. I agree with you.
All right. So who did you diagnose with the disease?
I'm gonna go first.
All right,
Because
let's
it
jump
has to
on
be-
that, man.
It's gonna have to be, and I think me and Tori might have the same one, and I didn't want you to jump me on it. I think
Okay.
it's gonna have to be from Dr. Scott Hansen when he told Arizona that she was positive for breast cancer.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
has to be a
Oh,
first
that was
line.
good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have the
Okay,
same
good.
one.
I didn't want to. Okay,
We don't.
Maybe you have my second one. Go ahead.
Okay, mine was from Karasik when he told Kepner, we had sex, call me.
Damn it, that's fine.
Tell me, Dr. Krantz.
Yeah, I was like, excuse you?
Okay.
No, that was good. It was like the cheesiest worst line ever. I was like,
Yeah.
perfect for him.
Back of my, okay,
So
I'll
that
go
was
next
mine.
if you. Okay. Mine was Jackson. Now, usually I say like his lines like they just get me. Not this
Yes,
one.
so I'm interested to hear this
He's
one.
like, "You sure you're on the right stop or something like that?" When Maggie was getting on the
missed
elevator,
that.
I was like,
Oh, yeah. Dry heave.
"Right." That was the worst.
Yeah. Well, you also didn't like Owen's line too.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, let's get
man.
into predictions for next week.
Do you
What
want to
we
use
think's
and gossip
gonna
really
happen.
quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have news and gossip. Let's talk news and gossip
yeah.
really quick.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So I don't know if you guys heard me. Krista were talking about it. I don't know if you overheard me. But Grey's Anatomy is having a blast from the past. Sarah Utterback, who was Nurse Olivia in season 1, is coming back to reprise her role on April 26th on Grey's Anatomy. And I'm super excited. If you guys don't remember Olivia, and you're in the chat, so I'm sure you guys are super fans, so you know who she is. But she slept with George and she slept with Alex in season 1. She got
She had
syphilis.
syphilis.
Oh, she's a syphilis.
Yeah, she's a syphilis
Yes.
girl.
Yes.
But guys, wait, I haven't even dropped it yet. She's coming back with a son. So is it George or is it Alex's? Could you imagine? I would die.
You didn't tell me that. I got the goosebumps.
I'm sorry. I had to drop it on you.
Wait, wait.
I
Whose
know.
do you want it to be?
George is because Alex don't put
Yes.
that kind of pressure in his
Yeah.
life
If
right
it's George's
Yeah. I
and
want
it
it to
looks
be
like a
George.
George,
now. It's a little O'Malley.
I would die.
I want it to be George.
Okay.
I would die. And his
That's
middle
the
name is George, or his first name is George.
His
I don't
first
know.
name
I
is
would die.
George.
I
Well,
don't know.
just because all of you said George, I'm gonna say I want it to be Alex because I'm ready
That's
for
gonna
Joe.
twist some dreams.
I'm ready for
Arms.
Joe to literally fight for her man.
She's
That's all I'm gonna
she
say.
hasn't really been
Through
fighting.
enough.
Alex
I mean,
been fighting
she
for her,
put-
but
she
they've
got
gone
down
through
on
enough.
Thank
Yes.
you.
They've been gone through
Thank
enough
They've gone
though.
through
Yeah.
Like, let
But
them
yeah,
breathe.
we're excited to see her come back. So I'm excited about that. April
Yes.
26th, you guys, she'll be back.
That's
so-
exciting.
Yeah, right?
Okay, and now predictions.
Predictions, yes.
Oh my gosh.
What do you got?
I feel like after, oh yes, we have our soundbite for predictions.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I don't know. I feel like
sounds so
after
creepy.
we did the,
Prediction.
it's like a little Twilight Zone sci-fi, yes. I feel like after that whole drop with the news and stuff, I feel like I'm gonna predict that her baby's gonna be George's. But if we're sticking
I'll go
to
with that.
tonight's storyline, I hope / predict that Ollie continues on, and they're not just gonna write her off. I
I'd
feel
like
like
that
I hope
too.
that this is not the last we see of her. I hope they're gonna do like a mini Diane, where we see her for a few episodes, and
Yeah.
we see her like
Yeah.
her arc. I want to see
Yeah.
because if
I'd
she's
like
gonna
that.
go, I want to see everything.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with that. I think Amelia is preggers.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I feel like this episode was kind of hard for me to make predictions, but if I have to think about it, I'm gonna say that Maggie is not happy with Jackson. It's gonna carry into next episode, and I feel like that's
We forgot
gonna
about that.
right. And even though we know that Jackson, stopped April, I feel like Maggie's not gonna be able to get that out of her head, and she's gonna think that Jackson
Oh,
still
yeah.
has feelings for
Yeah.
April, and it's gonna cause them to split.
Good.
Which we didn't really talk about this, but I was gonna say like I'm starting to get a little annoyed with them.
Okay, thank
because
you.
they're going back to like intern
Oh wait, let me
type
pull up
lives.
the bandwagon and jump on. There you go.
I'm partially. I got 1 foot in.
Okay,
One
all
foot
right,
in.
all right.
I'm with you on that prediction, and also because she's just coming off of the whole situation with what was his name? The married guy.
Oh, Clyde.
Clyde,
His
yeah.
name needs to be
So-
Clyde.
So since she's coming off of that, and then like your current boo now kissed his ex-wife, they're officially divorced, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
divorced.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're divorced.
Well, still, like he makes out with his ex-wife and doesn't tell you. Like her head is just gonna
Yeah.
be all crazy, and we know how Maggie is. She's so sweet but sensitive, so she's gonna take it
Yeah,
hard. So
I
yes,
agree.
I think they're gonna split. I don't know for how long, but they're gonna split.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm
So
excited.
that's what we have.
Yeah.
Excited for next week.
Yes.
Yes.
What's going
Me
down.
too.
Oh, next
Yes.
week is gonna be from the teaser.
Yep.
Seems
gonna be a
very
good one.
emotional.
Yeah. This is gonna. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy has never lost it, but it's really got it this
Yes.
season. Yes.
I'm gonna agree with what you said earlier and say that Grey's Anatomy is back.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
officially, and we'll be back next week. Make sure you guys join us. Make sure you subscribe, like I said, on YouTube and iTunes. 5 stars on iTunes, and make sure you guys hit us up in the chat. You know that we talked to you guys. We had Abby, we had Olivia.
Jazz
Tanya.
41173, Tanya,
I can't
Abby.
see you guys.
I don't have my contacts
I
in,
know,
but
I
I
know.
appreciate you.
It's very small font, you guys. Lauren G, we
Lauren
love
G,
everybody in the chat. We
yes.
love interacting with you guys. Thank you for
Yes,
joining us.
Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week. But before we go,
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
It's on the screen.
Bye.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.